Good afternoon, people, and it's Monday. We are still in September, and with the closures on the canal, it is very quiet. Not a lot going on at all, and it hasn't been for nearly a month now. So, you've just been seeing us get a puddle duck out of the water and me pressure washing it off. So, Springer, so this boat has a V bottom on it, so we've had to put it on the chocks a little bit differently. It has some anodes which are actually attached underside here, and it looks like the that old one's probably about done and could do with taking off. So this boat's raw water cooled, meaning that it uses canal water to cool the engine, and it sucks it in through one of these outlets. I think it's this one here. This one's redundant, and we've got to weld a patch over that and make that watertight. And the other one likewise, it's not got a seacock on it, which it could really do with. So that fitting's got to come out and put a new one in. So in for blacking and that little job underneath there. Along the waterline, yeah, it's a little bit rusty. This boat's been overplated from here all the way down and round and up the other side. Still looks okay, just a bit of surface rust along the waterline, and it is also a little bit green with algae, so this needs getting off. A bit rough to the touch. I'm sure we can do something about that with the whizzy wheel. As you can see, absolutely no paint on the waterline. Coming round to the bow, there isn't a chine angle on a boat like this. It's rounded, they don't have one. Anode at the front, that one's good, and that old one really wants chopping off. Again, a lot of greenery around the bow here. Moving on to the port side, same story, just a lot of greenery around the not far from the waterline, and the anode, again, that one wants chopping off. The second one, which has been replaced fairly recently, is in good order. This side, not so much rust along the waterline. It's fared a little bit better. There's some bits like this that want knocking off with a hammer where it's started to delaminate, and here from the outlets this wants cleaning up as well. Moving towards the back on the port side, we have a hole here from a previous fitting that's no longer required, so I've marked it out so that Jane doesn't black it. I'm going to put a patch in there. I think this is where the owner has had a new fitting put in. So, at the back here on the port side, anodes again tucked underneath there, and that one wants chopping off. There are no outlets on this side, not a problem. It was just that one on the starboard side underneath that needed attention. So, can I get to the propeller? God, it's dinky. It's got a bit of crud around it. We'll have that off and clean it up. I can't feel any play in it. Very small, but it's only a small engine. It's only a small boat. And rudder assembly. Minimum amount of play on it. It's a very small piece of tube that they've used almost, but it's doing the job. And it appears to have plenty of thickness to it here, which is all that matters. Very unusual. Got a bit of chrome exhaust going on here, sticking out the side. Hey, side pipes. So, all in all, Puddle Duck just needs cleaning up with a wire wheel, mainly around the waterline, but we'll probably go over the whole thing just because it's quite rough to the touch, and we could definitely make it a better job. Cut off the old anode bars from all four that are there, and weld up the two fittings that need doing underneath, and that one on the side. Good morning, people, and it is an absolutely gorgeous day here. It's a shame we've got to do some work, really, though. You've just seen on time lapse we've got quite a lot of it done this morning. So, Puddle Duck. This hull is a V-bottomed hull. Now, in the narrowboat world, they nearly always all get called springers, and this is not a springer. I've looked it up, and I don't know who the boat builder was, it's unknown. But we had one of these back in 1976, and it had a wooden and fiberglass top on it, and it had a proper weld deck in the front. And it was called Dolly and Major, probably around about the same length as this. But I've always wondered whatever happened to Dolly and Major. It was bought, we sold it to one of my teachers at East Warwickshire College called Aubrey Day, bless him. But after Aubrey had the boat, don't know what happened to it. I'd love to know if anybody out there knows where Dolly and Major is. Really be interested to find out. I was told that Dolly and Major meant in Latin large vessel used for carrying wine but empty. That's about right for a boat that we owned. Anyway, back to Puddle Duck. We've got it all cleaned off, and now we can see that this boat has been overplated up to above the waterline, and they've done the bottom here as well. When it was done, they've not done a bad job because they've actually managed to pull this sheet round in one, whereas we see a lot of people that have a go at this that do it in loads of different pieces, which looks really tatty. The welds on it, well, they could be better, but we don't know the conditions or what they were using to weld it with. But it's on, and it's doing a good job. Removed the old anodes, as you just saw as well, and now it's looking a lot better. Like I say, all marked up so that Jane and myself don't actually put black in where we want to put a couple of plates and bits on this. And again, underneath here I've got these two outlets that I've marked off. I'm going to have to do something with these. One's got to be blanked off, and the other one needs a seacock putting on it. So I'm going to have a spot of lunch, then come back out here and get this blacked. Good afternoon, people, and it's a lovely afternoon here. It was a bit rainy this morning. We have Tia sitting on the dock waiting for a bit of a clean, going out on hire on Friday. We've had a few storms come through here, and Tia hasn't been out for a couple of weeks, so all them leaves from them trees are finding their way into the well deck. So I'll come back to Tia later in the week. So, what are you up to then, Jane?
Doing your job, babe.
Jane's doing my job, and this is because unfortunately Jane can't weld, and I've got some welding to go and do. So
Only excuse.
Jane is stuck with putting the second coat of black in on the bottom of this. Have fun. Try not to get as much of it on yourself as I did yesterday.
I think I'm doing quite well so far.
You are. So, Puddle Duck. These outlets that I've showed earlier on are for, one's for the engine and one's redundant. So this boat is cooled by canal water. It's called raw water cooling. So it comes in through here, and it does have a seacock on it. It's just I couldn't see it in the dark with the boards, one of the boards down. So this comes off, and then you have a filter in there. So if there's any debris in the canal that comes up the fitting, you just take the cap off, pull the filter out and clean it out, and then the water goes through the engine and comes out through the exhaust. The other fitting is redundant. It's from, I don't know what, something in the bathroom, but it's not used anymore, and the other end of it is blanked. So we're going to remove that and weld a plate over the hole, and also see how well constructed this is, because the raw water inlet is also done in the same sort of way, and it looks a bit messy, but it's not letting water in. So we'll make a decision on whether or not we're going to mess with the one for the engine, or just do the one that's redundant. So let Jane carry on with the second coat of black in. I get some tools, start taking that fitting out. So, as suspected, this is a piece of wood that they've used in there. It doesn't even look like marine ply, it's just a bit of MDF ply, I don't even know. Problem with this is that it will swell over time, and I think they've used it to try and support the fitting a little bit better. Not the best of ideas, so I'm going to have to get the other fitting out and remove the wood from under that one as well. Oh dearie, dearie me. What do some people think is a good idea? I really don't know. Madness. As you can see, this job wasn't the easiest. I had to pretty much stand on my head to get to this fitting. Right, so it's the next morning, and yesterday I made myself some blanking plates. I didn't film it because I was running out of time, and well, I just didn't film it. Pretty boring really, watching a man cut some plates out of a piece of steel. But hey, that's what this channel's all about. Right, so this is a blanking plate. That's going to go in there, and I'm going to weld it to the hull of the boat and then fill in the gap. So hopefully should end up with something flush. And then the same with, well, similar with this one. I've drilled a hole and got it all made. So this is going to go in there. We'll bolt it on the, I will bolt it on the other side to pull it up, and then weld it round. And again, fill it all in. These boats, or this boat, is made from 3mm steel, as you can see here. And this wasn't uncommon back in the 70s. A lot of boats were. They were 6mm, with 6.2mm base plate, 6mm sides, some 5s, some 4s. But it just makes me giggle a bit today with boats, modern construction, being 10mm base plate, 6mm sides, that people start getting all worried when they've got little pits in the side of like a couple of mil. Madness really. They'd absolutely be horrified to take a boat like this out, or own a boat like this, originally only being 3mm. Right, so get the welder, get us bolted in and it's stuck together. Next job to get these blocks moved. I usually get a bit worried doing this with Jane because an industrial accident is probably cheaper than a divorce. Right, so now that's all repositioned, we can get in here and paint these bits and the bit underneath where the blocks were sitting before. Okay, so we have our fitting and the sealant on it, but there's only one of me at the moment because my wonderful assistant Jane is busy doing something else. So what we do is get this in, a snug fit. And then to hold that up, just hold it with a magnet. Okay, so we've got that held in place now. And inside the fitting, there are two little lugs that you can push something flat in and will hold the fitting so it doesn't move while you tighten it up. So at the moment we've just got the magnet holding it up from the bottom while I tighten this up. It's starting to turn, so what I can do is push this down, and above the shot somewhere you should see a little picture showing the little lugs and how the chisel is just resting against the sides and will stop the fitting from rotating round and round. So I'm using this hydraulic thread lock, which is 542 Loctite, not sponsored at all. Used it for years, mainly on stern gear, through fittings, good stuff. So you're right, Pumpkin.
Yes, I am.
That's some pumpkins. Manor Farm Shop, Catthorpe, for your pumpkins. Come on, chick, let's go and get something to eat. So, Jane, got your work done for the week then? Are you sure? Just a high boat to clean. So what you got then? Cake of the week.
Treacle tart and cream.
Treacle tart and cream. And I've gone the treacle tart and custard. You happy with that then?
I am.
With 2 coats of blacking all over Puddle Duck, we got her back in the water as Storm Amy was approaching. Unfortunately, we didn't get time to have a look round here, but there's always next week. Catch you then.